Hey everyone, this is Dr. Jennifer Gardella, your social media expert. Welcome to my presentation, Simple Strategies to Win the SEO Game. Now, if you have found your way to this video, one of a few things has happened. One, you were part of the Bucks County SCORE presentation that I did on this topic this morning, and something happened with the text, so you need to watch it here. Number two, you are part of or watching my telesummit on digital marketing during the coronavirus time, and I've offered it as one of the videos. Or number three, you found it on my YouTube channel. However you found your way here, I am thrilled that I'm able to share with you my best tips and tricks for winning the SEO game. Let's get started. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Jennifer Gardella. I am a social media, SEO, and blogging expert, and I help my clients every month build a significant digital foundation with blogging and social media. I do individual meetings, personalized monthly support. I do some small group trainings, and I do a lot of speaking engagements. Every time that I get the opportunity to help a small business owner, I am just thrilled to get them out of overwhelm, and we'll be doing a lot of that today. Anything else you want to find out about me, you can read about me on jennifergardella.com. I want to assure you that almost everything you see out there on the internet about me, my videos, my websites, my social media, I've done most of it myself. I've had a little bit of help, a little bit of guidance, but the tactical is me. And so during this time, when we're all stuck inside, social distancing, I want you to know that it's a great time for you to start to lay your digital foundation. Now, for those of you who came to me through the SCORE event, I did look very closely at your questions that you asked during registration, and I hope that I have covered all of your questions. If more things pop up or I didn't answer your question completely or you don't understand something, please let me know. You can get in touch with me right through my website, jennifergardella.com. Now, the first thing you have to understand with SEO is, why are we doing any of this? The number one reason why we worry about SEO is to be found in search. SEO, or search engine optimization, is the process of preparing your website so that when people are looking for you, your information pops up either in the maps or in organic search on that first page of Google. We want you to reach your ideal market and have the know, like, and trust factor nailed down completely. I also want you to build a foundation and worry about SEO because it's a great way to make professional connections and relationships. I've actually found power partners on LinkedIn, and they have other power partners have found me through search. So having a really strong foundation will help when people need you. It's also confirmatory. Someone hears your name, they get a referral from a friend, a colleague, and they want to know more about you. Your digital foundation, just sometimes searching on your name, will, if it brings up the information about your expertise, can really help that person make their decision about you as an expert. And I also want you to stay top of mind. Laying a strong SEO foundation and then sharing that on social media allows you to share things on a regular basis. When your ideal clients then need you, they have seen your information and, well, it's there. They're ready to make that call because they have you in the top of their mind. Now, I want you to be very realistic about SEO. So we're in a crunch time right now. And when I say crunch time, I mean like crunch time, like you have a lot of time. So it takes 6 months to get you to start building something in SEO. You can't just post one blog, one video, or make one LinkedIn connection and expect your business to turn around. Now, I'm hoping that we don't have 6 months at home, certainly, but you certainly have a next couple weeks where you can make substantial inroads in the world of laying that digital foundation. Now, your SEO foundation, one blog post, one video, one Google review, it might not bring in a single connection, but we know that it has to be done because it all fits together to build that rock solid foundation. And if you want anything else, video ads, Google ads, if you want to start something on Instagram, you need absolutely a strong digital foundation to support it. All roads lead back to your website, and your website needs to have a really strong digital foundation, that SEO presence that you need. Now, I will also say, when we are realistic, SEO will not sell your goods and services. SEO will help people find you. SEO will allow Google to display your results, sometimes your pictures and your ads. But you still need to be doing other things. I've had clients that have come to me and said, Jen, you know what? I'm going to pay you to do my blogging and social media, and then I'm thrilled. That's all I'm doing. They didn't want to network anymore. They didn't want to worry about learning about sales anymore. And it just doesn't work that way. This foundation is going to support your networking. It's going to support your sales process. So you're still going to have to do those things. They're just going to be enhanced because you have a strong digital strategy and a very strong SEO foundation. Now, a word of caution, when I was looking through the SCORE signups for this workshop, I saw that a couple of people are already working with SEO shops, and what they want to learn is more about what's going on for them. Two things popped into my mind when I saw their comments. One, never give all of your control of any of your accounts, like your Google My Business page, to a company or an individual. You need to retain all of your ownership and just simply give them access as an administrator. In a couple of instances, you won't be able to do that, like Twitter comes to mind, and so use a system like LastPass if you have to. But with anything else, your website, with your Google My Business page, with your YouTube channel, each of those properties can just be, you can give someone admin privileges. Also, no company out there should ever make the guarantee that they can get you on the first page of Google in a month. There are companies, some here in the Doylestown area, that make that claim. I do know that they're doing something proprietary on the back end of your website, and it can absolutely not be a white hat SEO technique. When we talk about white hat and black hat are the things that we're going to talk about today. Black hat are the things that could get you into a real lot of trouble with Google. So I only do white hat practices for my clients, and I want you to do the same. So don't believe anybody when they say that they can do that. There's no way to do that. And if they are getting you first page rankings in a month, they are definitely not building that digital foundation that you need for years to come. This is a slow build. Now, I just want to point you to a couple of resources. Some you may have found your way, is how you found your way here. So I do have the slides to this, as well as this video is on my site for SCORE. I'm also running the Telesummit. You can find that right on my website. And I've pre-recorded this, so it will be on my YouTube channel. Now, I know that you are overwhelmed. Your site is not ranking in Google organic search, and your site is also not ranking in maps. You don't know why. You've tried a couple things, but what you do know is that your competitors are ranking, and that is a huge problem for you because they are then getting the search results when people go looking for your Google's for your goods and services. Now, you may be wondering, how does Jen know this? Well, because I was overwhelmed as well. Everyone in this business had to start somewhere. And I actually started working for a friend who had a divorce attorney. He was a divorce attorney in central New Jersey. Highly, highly competitive market. And he had $1 million practice, and the phone stopped ringing. This was alarming to him. And what had happened was, this was back in 2011, his website had fallen off the first page of Google search, and he was no longer ranking because of the updates of Google. And he was overwhelmed. And when I was first hired, I was overwhelmed as well, like really overwhelmed. We had to rewrite the website, redesign it. We had to start blogging. We had to push out a very strategic social media campaign. We also had to start doing things like video, a newsletter. It was a lot of work to be done. So I know you're overwhelmed, and my goal today is to get you out of overwhelm. So I've explained a little bit about SEO. I just want to go over it one more time. Search engine optimization, it's the process of getting your website ready. A big piece of this process is making sure that the right keywords are written into your website. So when someone comes looking for you, Google is going to know that that is what you do. That's your area of expertise. And so your site, your results will be shown in maps and on the Google list. That's what we're aiming for. That's all SEO is. Now, there are many factors to SEO. The first one, and these are not in order because we're really not ever sure what Google is thinking for search engine optimization. The first one, though, that I have on the list is, does your business have a single focus? There are a lot of people, and especially in these times, that are going to start to fragment their business a little bit. They're going to start to offer different goods and services. They may say, well, I'm an attorney that used to do real estate closings, but now I can handle trusts and estates. Certainly, if that's going to work for you, that's great. The problem is Google is not going to consider you credible if you just start practicing all different sorts of law. They want you focused around one tight subject. So I would recommend doing one very tight subject. You also want to be adding content constantly to your website. The best way to add new content to your website is through a blog. The bigger your website, the more Google considers you an expert. So I want you to think in terms of pages. Now, there's a couple caveats here. That content must be high quality, and we will go over that. And that content must be related to the questions that your ideal clients are going to ask. There's no point in having pages on your website that are just garbage that no one is going to read and that your ideal clients do not need. Link building is really confusing. It really is worthy of an entire another video. I will put one up in my telesummit in the next couple of days and share it with all of you. The easiest way to say or explain what link building is, it's hyperlinks. It's links from your website articles to different website articles that you own on that same site. It's links from your website to other websites, and it's links from bigger websites back to yours. They're hard to build. You can build these through guest blogging, working with friends, getting a lot of like podcast guesting is a great one to do. Link building is important. And the best way to think about it is that your links form like a web for you. And your goal, believe it or not, is to catch the Google spiders. The Google spiders, and this is a little bit of old school terminology at this point, but the Google spiders crawl the web looking for information. And your goal with your linking is to catch the spiders in that web. I know it's a little far-fetched, but it's a great way to explain it. NAP, name, address, and phone number. On your Google My Business page, your Facebook page, your website, anything that you put out there with your business should have the same name, address, and phone number on it. Google looks at standardization. They actually used to look at a whole bunch of factors related to your name, address, and phone number. For right now, just make sure that if street is spelled out on one directory, it's the same across all of your internet properties and also all of the accounts that you set up. Social indicators, there's some research to suggest that social indicators are an SEO ranking factor. It's important. I believe a social media presence is important anyway. And so if you can get a little SEO boost from having a LinkedIn profile that's well LinkedIn active or a Facebook profile that's doing the same, that can be good. Also, when we talk about SEO, search engine optimization, LinkedIn itself could be considered a search engine. People go into LinkedIn looking for goods and services. So I know that a lot of people have found me in LinkedIn just looking for a social media consultant, and my profile will pop to the top of search on LinkedIn because of the way that my profile is written. And the other, just one factor that I wanted to call to the top of your mind is traffic. How many people come to your site? Google considers you an expert, and they will display your results more often if you have more people visiting your site. This is sort of logical, right? If more people are visiting, you probably know what you're talking about. The one caveat to this is the type of information that's on your site. Google looks very closely at what people do when they show up on your site. Do they read an article and bounce off? That's not good. That's called a high bounce rate. Or do they stick around your site and realize that what you have to offer is what they need? What we want are people hanging around your site, getting great information off of the multiple articles that you offer. Now, the content of SEO for your website. So there's two pieces to SEO that we're going to go over. There's content, and then there's the technical aspects. The factors that I just listed are kind of the ones that have always been tried and true. These dig a little deeper. I've gone over this a little bit though already. So we always want high quality content being added around your core business areas, I will do an extensive review in blogging in this video. And I also want to stress again that this is all based around what your ideal clients are searching for. This is not based around your expertise or what you want to tell them about your business. The question is, what are they looking for? And is the information on your website aligned with that? So to dive a little deeper into some of the people who are watching this, if you are a diabetes, there was someone on the list that provides some sort of technology to help individuals manage their diabetes. If individuals are out there looking for glucose monitors and your site has those words written into it, your site will rank. There's also someone that's listening in that sells olive oil. Well, you need, besides a listing of their products, you need a whole bunch of information about olive oil. Realtors, I've worked with a lot of realtors before. The content on your website needs to address what individuals are facing when they're buying or selling a house, moving, packing, curbside appeal. Do you accept your first offer? I've worked with a lot of realtors. Same with gyms. You know, there's someone on here that has a gym that offers phenomenal classes. If I go looking for a kickboxing class, if I go looking for Pilates, is that information and a lot more information about each of those topics available on your website? Now, the technical aspects of SEO, I feel that I have to mention. Some of them get a little confusing. All of these you can do on your own. I've really increase the SEO of my website by taking care of some of these. The best thing that you can do is have a conversation right now with a website designer. Since we're home, it's a great time to make a call and check in. You also want to make sure that your page speed is checked and then go over ways that you can improve that during this time. A responsive site is an absolute must. Google considers this to be one of the top factors in ranking your website. So as we all know, people are viewing your website on a multitude of devices, some on huge desktop screens, others on tiny little phones. A responsive website is one that can adjust and actually display correctly on all of those devices. Remember in the old days when we'd have a website and we'd pull it up on a little tiny phone and it would just look really small? Well, now that doesn't fly anymore for Google. Also, Google wants you to submit your sitemap to them. This can be a confusing process, so I want you to make sure that you either know what you're doing or you get someone to do it for you. Broken links on your site, again, all of that linking we talked about, are those links valid? Google is going to be looking. We already went over stats, your visitors to your site and your bounce rate. Again, I consider that technical because it falls under Google Analytics, which is something that has to be added to your website. Now, duplicate content is kind of a hairy issue because you cannot just have a page of content on two different sites. So let's say you're like me and you do a lot of blogging on external sites. So I did some blogging for a while on the Huffington Post. The posts that I wrote for the HuffPo were some of the best work I've ever written. I couldn't just take those posts though and put them on my website as well. Now this is crazy, right? Because I own that content. A lot of time went into that content. But if I have it on two sites, Google is going to consider it duplicate content. And the problem is that Google will look at HuffPo and look at my website and say, HuffPo is a lot bigger. Why is Jen copying this website? And they will discredit me and what I do. And then the last piece that I just want you to talk to your website designer about or learn more about yourself is metadata. Metadata are small snippets of data. There's places for them on, if you have a WordPress website, you can download a plugin called Yoast, and there's a place right in the Yoast program for every piece of content and every blog that you write that will take care of the metadata for you. Now, the first step in doing any of this at all is your keyword research. And the first step of keyword research is knowing your ideal client. Let me just take a step back here and say this. It drives me crazy when small business owners pay any amount of money, sometimes $5,000 to $10,000 for a brand new spiffy website. And they come to me and they ask for help with their marketing, their social media, and their blogging. And no one has done a keyword research project for them. No one has done keyword research analysis or competitor analysis. This is crazy. The first step of any digital marketing effort should be based on really deep keyword research. Who's your ideal client and how are they searching for you? Now, a keyword is one word, it's a phrase or a question. So I'm going to call out John Mercer, who was on the call today. He is the owner of Stacks, which is a co-working space in Doylestown. So let's do this for John. A short-tailed keyword for John would be co-working or office space. We'll do one or two. A longer tail keyword is office space for my small business, right? Or how can I work out of my home a few days a week? Those would be question-based keywords. The trick is to narrow down how your ideal client is searching for you. Now, what's so funny about bringing John up and Stacks up at this time in our lives is that we're all home working with our spouses. And I've encouraged him to put some things on the website that will capture some of those search terms so that he can pick up on people in the area who are entrepreneurs that he can give space to. Stacks is great. You can get a one-day pass to Stacks. People may be looking for, how can I get out of my house one day a week? How can I, or networking events. Stacks has some great networking events. So those are all the different types of keywords and questions that should be written into the Stacks site. I will say that there's also a great blog on the Stacks site about social media and blogging written by me. So check it out when you get a chance. So again, it's your core business areas. If you're a landscaper, I know that there are landscapers on this call. This is when you're looking at curb appeal, adding shrubbery, taking care of trees, who's mowing my lawn, how much does it cost to mow a lawn in the Doylestown area. And that brings up a really good one with keywords, your geographic areas. It is really important if you are a hyper-local business like Stacks or our landscaper or some of our healthcare professionals who are with us today to look at their geographic areas. You cannot practice law outside the state of Pennsylvania unless you're licensed. So make sure that your information about your law practice has geographic locators. I worked with a lot of attorneys in the New Jersey area. I do know that we have some Jersey people on the call, had some Jersey people on the call with us. So if some of the attorneys in Jersey don't like to go to some of the courtrooms because the parking's terrible, so they like to go to Freehold, they might not like to go to Trenton. If you don't want to go to Freehold, or I'm sorry, if you do want to go to the Freehold area, make sure that's written into your content. So your geographic locators will constrain your content even more. And the great part about geolocators is that they just don't count for people searching on those terms like Doylestown Landscaping Service. They also add credibility and the possibility that Google will show those results when people are just searching in those areas. So your searcher may not use Doylestown, but Google knows you're in Doylestown. So if the search person is sitting in Doylestown, your results may show. Now, it's interesting because a lot of people like to brand their content. They say, okay, I'm going to put my name in my business. And this is, I'm sorry, into my SEO. And this is actually a great idea. Just remember, no one is searching on your name. So I have a colleague at Stacks. Her name is Jo Leonard. She does college counseling. She also helps younger individuals launch into the world. She's a great person. Her website and her company is joleonard.com. Go check it out if you need help in those areas. The problem is that when you go looking in Doylestown for a college counselor or someone to write your resume or to help your child launch out of college, you're not searching on Jo Leonard. So I've helped her to see that she needs to write Doylestown, Warrington into the content of her website. So you can, in many ways, brand the name of your business around in your content, but make sure that what you do is the focus because that's what they're searching for. So question is, how do you find your keywords? I have some great news for you in this too. Okay, so it's your core business areas. And literally you are going to open up a document, get out a piece of paper, get out a spreadsheet, however you want to organize this, write down your core business areas. Like, what is it that you do? It actually can be kind of an eye-opening experience for you. The next thing is, what do you want to be known for? So if you want to be known, like in Joe's case, for college counseling, but your website doesn't have that, well, that's going to be something that we're going to need to write in. Joe does have it all over her website, by the way. So what questions do you want to answer? Like, what are people asking when they call you? What do you want to help them with? If you're really stuck, you can look at what your competitors are writing about. So go to the first page of Google, search for what it is you do, search for your expertise, and then find out who your competitors are and go to their website. The geolocators should absolutely be written into your website. Now, here's some tips on how to find these out in the world. It can be a confusing process if it's your first time going through. I'm going to tell you how I do it. It's an iterative process for me. It goes around and around and around in a circle until I know I've got it. But first I check out Google AdWords. So let's just say you're a pizza joint in Doylestown and you hire me to do your keyword research. Well, I'm going to go into Google AdWords and search on pizza shop, pizza store, pizza restaurant, and see what AdWords are expensive to buy. Now, it's beyond the scope of this presentation today to dive into those details, but that's actually a really good thing for me to put up in the telesummit and do some videos around. Go into Google AdWords, follow the very simple directions. Oh, and if you have problems with this or you want guidance in Google AdWords, you should call my buddy Patty D'Alessio. She's an SEO consultant that works in the area. She's fabulous. Okay, the next thing that you can do is go to a website called Answer the Public. This is a funky site. It's very graphic with they usually have this really big scary guy that pops up. He's not that scary, but he's a little bizarre. Anyway, Answer the Public allows you to put in any term into their system, and it will give you sometimes thousands, unfortunately, of suggestions on how that term could be used in Google. This then gives you the ability to take those questions that Answer the Public gives you, put them into Google and see what pops up. If your competitors pop up, those would be advantageous to use, or at least consider on your keyword list. Now, here's something very exciting that I just found out tonight. Ubersuggest is a website run by a guy named Neil Patel. Now, we are very thankful for Neil Patel in the world of SEO and digital marketing because Neil takes hunches that he has and he puts tremendous amount of time and effort and money in his company into researching them. So if he thinks that there's something that's important to SEO, he actually goes out there and tests it, and then he retests it, and then he shares that information with us. Ubersuggest and Neil Patel, I just got an email from them. They have opened up parts of Ubersuggest for free during this time. This is a huge gift. Now, don't get too bogged down to it. Ubersuggest is incredibly complex. Go in there. There's lots of tutorials that he gives you. There's tons of information, and it is a way to get some amazing results over what is being searched for in your particular area of expertise. There's also a free keyword tool from WordStream. I would imagine a lot of these services are going to be opening up or at least offering free trials during this time. So take advantage of it, do your keyword research, ask me any questions you can have, but definitely go on to Google AdWords, Answer the Public, Ubersuggest, and the free keyword tool from WordStream to get some of this nailed down for yourself. Now, those of you who do not like to plan are not going to like this next section. So the one way that you can really start to win the SEO game is to plan out an editorial calendar. It should include the 12 months of the year. It can be 12 sheets of paper. It can be on a Google Doc. It can be in an Excel spreadsheet. I don't care how you do it. It cannot be on napkins. It should not be on Post-it notes. But it gives you the opportunity to plan out what you're going to write about for the year and plan the keywords into that content. Now, on this slide, I'm giving you the different things that you should be planning. Don't go bananas. Unless you have an inordinate amount of time right now, it's a bad idea to try to plan out everything. Here are some ideas. You can plan out general themes of your social media posts. So if you know that you want to start putting something out there for Mother's Day, that should be in your editorial calendar. So a month before, which is about now, you're going to start writing about it or at least planning the content. In your editorial calendar, you're also going to put your blog posts. This gives you the opportunity to never miss an idea or an opportunity for a blog for your website. So my friend Kathy Marcino, KMM Disc Consulting, she does a lot of sales training. She does a lot of conflict resolution. She has done some brilliant blog posts because they have been planned. So look for Kathy's stuff. Go on her website and you'll see she has posts around the Super Bowl. Those were well planned out. And the idea with an editorial calendar is that if you know what you're going to be writing about in a blog post, you can actually set aside time each week just to outline a little bit in a couple of blog posts because you're planning for them. And then when it's time to actually sit and write, you have a lot of information that is sitting there waiting for you. So you're just not writing with a white screen. You can plan out new website articles in an editorial calendar. So if you know that you have website articles to put up there, you can plan them out. They don't have to be written all at once. You can plan out your newsletter, your pictures, your videos, what you're going to say in your videos. And yes, a big piece of SEO is videos. So we're going to start to get you thinking about and moving in that direction as well. Quotes that you want to include can be put in your editorial calendar. LinkedIn long posts. LinkedIn has an internal blogging platform that you can use. And if you really want to win the SEO game, you'll also start to use SlideShare. So that's SlideShare just takes PowerPoints. Now, here's the thing, everyone needs ideas, and this happens to be one of my magical superpowers. I will share with you, you should never ask me to cook you dinner, as my good friend Mary Fran Bontempo or Danielle Pearson both know. I am not the one to come and cook you dinner or decorate your house or do your makeup or your hair. I have an endless number of ideas that I can help you uncover for writing for your website. The first thing you need to look at is evergreen content. This is the tried and true things that will never go away and never change in your business. So if you are a consultant, let's just say you're a business consultant. We have some business consultants on the score call. You're going to absolutely talk about people getting goals in order. That will probably never change. Getting your finances in order. What's your vision for your company? You should have evergreen content. I'm going to stop here because we are in the middle of the coronavirus, and I'm going to say that be very careful about sharing information about the coronavirus because it is going to become dated and eventually people aren't going to want to hear about it anymore. It's actually something that I have thought about as I've started to prepare my videos during this time. I've mentioned it, I haven't mentioned it. It's a tricky business. I would recommend that in your evergreen content, don't write paragraphs about the coronavirus, but do write paragraphs about your story. What drove you to do what you do? I have a really interesting path to my profession and my expertise, and I love to talk about it in blog posts and on my website, and I have a lot of information about it on videos. Talk about what you do. Like, why do you do it? What gives you great satisfaction with it? How you help people. And then you can also look at the 5x5 or the 10x10. What are the 5 questions or the 10 questions that people ask when they call your office? And what are the 10 questions or the 5 questions or the 10 questions that they should ask when they call your office? So let's just say that you are a photography studio. I want you to think about the 5 questions that they ask when they call. What should we wear? What time of day is best? Where should we shoot this? Where should we have our video shoot in the Bucks County area? Do you do headshots? Will you come to my house? They also ask questions about money. How much is this going to cost? How much time? And then how much time is it going to take? A lot of your questions that people are asking or should be asking revolve around time and money. So put those all into your website because they're asking those of Google. And if your website answers those questions, your website will display in search results. Client testimonials can be kind of tricky, but they can also be advantageous to include on your blog. Staff testimonials, a day in the life of a staff member are phenomenal. They give people a lot of information about your staff and who they're going to be interacting with. If you're still stuck, you can do the who, what, when, where, and why of your business. That could be 12 months of blog posts right there. I want you to start to focus your editorial calendar, and we're going to get into blog posts, around how you help and the pain points of your clients. They're usually not in Google looking for happy-go-lucky information. They want to know how you can help them solve their problem. So here's some more inspiration. This is all really important. You can do case studies as part of your SEO strategy. They can be phenomenal. Some people love to read case studies. Leave some room for news and spin, so that if there's news of your business, it comes out. So for instance, there is a staffing company on here, and there's also a temp agency on here, and they help individuals find jobs. They could be doing a ton of writing now in how to write your resume, the questions you're going to ask, and how do you prepare for a job interview, and how do you even find a job. Great ideas for those staffing companies, right? You can introduce an employee. Like I said, you can do a day in a life, you can do a testimonial, or you can just introduce new employees to your staff. Explain a term. If it's a term that someone's going to hear often when they are looking for your goods and services, they may come into Google and, well, ask Google, what is blank? Make sure your website has that written in. You can do a glossary, you can do an FAQ. There's lots of ways to do that. You can actually write blog posts and website articles and do videos about your ideal clients. I've certainly done them. You can also do your elevator speech. Laura Templeton, who runs 3-Minute Success. She does, I think I just got that wrong. Sorry, Laura. I'll put a link to it in the notes here. But Laura Templeton just wrote a book, 30-Second Success, about doing an elevator speech. So work with Laura, nail down your elevator speech and put it into a video. How your job relates to your life is phenomenal. So I'm a laptop entrepreneur. I love to be able to work from anywhere I am. And also the issues that relate to what you do. So what are some confounding factors in what you do and how you help? People love tips. People love 10 tips, 5 tips, 8 tips, into preparing, getting ready. Don't make these mistakes. Those all make great content. And remember, we're gearing all of this around your keywords and how you help and how they're searching for you. And then we have a couple stores on the call. So I would recommend you absolutely writing blog posts, social media posts, doing videos with your products. There's the olive oil company, there's a coffee company here. There's actually someone that does framing, which is pretty exciting. Show what you do, right? Show off your goods so that other people really can see what you offer. If you're a realtor, you want to get out there and show those houses, show the ones that you've sold. It's really important. Okay, so again, I think this is my last slide of inspiration. I know for some of you it is driving you a little crazy to think about all this now. It's like turning on the fire hose. But if you need more inspiration, go and look at what those competitors are writing about. Look at businesses that are related to you. So I help small business owners. I could look at, with digital marketing, I could look at a small business coach. I could also look at an accountant and see how they're trying to reach their people. You can look in comments on successful blogs. You can look in Quora, which is a website. You can search for keywords on Twitter. There's a lot of phenomenal content on Twitter. Here's a really interesting one that I haven't used all that successfully for my clients, but I can see how it can work for certain groups. So there's a lot of people who believe and who do a lot of keyword research and a lot of client research on Amazon. What they do is they look for books in subject areas related to them. So I would look for books on social media and then look in the book reviews, see what people are actually saying, the questions that they're answering. This doesn't work for me because in the area of social media and blogging, once you write a book, it's usually out of date instantaneously. But I can see where it can be really advantageous. And then Google other websites, get out there and look and see what other people are doing. Now, I want you to organize your editorial calendar around the months of the year. Like I said before, it's 12 sheets of paper. We're not putting this any longer on napkins and Post-it notes. You can organize it also seasonally, which is basically every quarter. Don't forget to include school calendar dates if those are really included. For my realtor friends, you have a beautiful calendar that's laid out. I know it's going to change a little bit right now, but make sure you're taking advantage of those dates. You also want calendar dates. You want dates that are fun, dates that are real. So holidays, I don't recommend doing a lot of religious holidays unless that is a definite spin of your business, but do the holidays of the year. And also you can search for fun days of the year. There's Oatmeal Day and Left-Handers Day and lots of birthdays of celebrities that can be fun to include in your editorial calendar. So now we're up to the blogging part. This is one of my areas of specialty that I love to talk about. There's been some research recently that has shown that if you are in the SEO game for the long term, your blog you could consider having an external blog to your website. This means that you have a website and that you have a separate property set up as just your blog. They're linked. Anyone visiting either property would actually think that they were on one website. But if the goal is you build up two properties and then they're very well linked to both your name and your area of expertise. Now, if you think about it, this is genius. However, it requires you to maintain two internet properties. From a lot of small business owners, this doesn't work. So I always do recommend if you're out there on your own and you've got your WordPress website, just activate the blog. It's something to consider though. I've gotten around this a little bit in that I have other blogs that I own that I write on. So I happen to have My Steps in Time, which has a business spin to it at times. And I also now have a podcast, Hot Mess to Great Success, which is directly linked to my main website and to My Steps in Time. So you can see where that linking goes on. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there that an external blog is an option if you're building something enormous. When you consider a blog, if it's set up now, you can start to look at it, or if you're setting this up, consider the formatting that you want, do a lot of research on that. You need the ability to add graphics, pictures, and videos to your blogs easily. You want to look at the fonts, like what are the main fonts of your blog? You want to turn off comment control because it's a lot to manage if you're managing your social media posts and comments and then also blogs. So I want all your blogs going to your social media posts. You also want to get subscribers through an RSS feed. You want easy social sharing. I'll mention that again in a little bit. And here are some ideas. If you don't have control over your main website. So we do have some individuals here who are financial planners. You can set up a blog on WordPress.com, on Google Blogger, on Movable Type. But for the financial planners, be very careful because as you know, you have very strict compliance issues. So just be wary of those. Okay, so now it's time you can do a basic SEO audit and make sure that these things are definitely up to snuff. Again, some of this can probably be taken care of very easily by the person that designed your website, and honestly, some of it should be handled by an expert, but with enough YouTube videos and a little bit of trial and error, you can certainly take care of it yourself. So make sure Google Analytics is set up and you understand at least how to look at your visitors. I want you to also be able to clearly tell me by visiting your website what you do with some core business articles and the right keywords in them. I want your website to be responsive, your blog internal, especially if you're doing this yourself. I want social media share buttons so that I can come on, look at your blog, read it, and share it easily to the main sites like Google, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook. And then I want social media connect buttons on there, both in the header and the footer, and also on your bio page. So that goes to your business Facebook page, your LinkedIn account, your Twitter. Make sure that people know exactly how to get in touch with you and your business. Now, I said a little bit before about high quality content. Your ideal clients, they want you to have ideal content up there. Phew. High quality content is critical. In fact, if you're not going to do high quality content, like don't bother at all because it will actually cause some problems for you. Make sure that your content helps your ideal client solve a problem. Don't write a blog, and create a PDF and just slap it up on SlideShare or slap it up on LinkedIn. Take the time to break it into pieces so that it looks appropriate for wherever you're sharing it. Do not stuff keywords into any of your content. So we're going to talk naturally. You're not just going to say Doylestown, Warrington, Abington. You're going to actually just talk naturally about being an accountant in Warrington or about owning a restaurant in Doylestown. I don't want you to just stuff your keywords in. So content for the sake of content is a complete waste of time. And I've seen a lot of videos that people put up. They'll throw up pictures, or they'll put some B-roll, and they'll put some words, and then they'll put a long script in the description, and none of it makes sense. And it's not worth anything. No one will ever see it. It's just not worth it. Take the time, get the instruction. There's very easy ways to develop really high quality content. And once we get you moving forward, you'll really, really be doing well. Now we're moving on to blogging. Blogging increases your website SEO. It adds pages, which I already explained are critical. It shows your personality. It can highlight your expertise. It allows you to comment on news-related stories, and it helps build your know, like, and trust factor easily. Now, again, it drives traffic to your website. When you have a blog, not only is it great for SEO, it gives you something to share on social, which is awesome. It can connect you with your clients, your volunteers, your donors in a very specific and personal way. It builds up the content of your website with a page, but in a very casual voice. It can help you increase awareness. It creates a resource. It creates a body of knowledge that your ideal clients can actually use. It shows that you are on top of the news and allows you to share those happenings that are so important. Now, I make blogging really easy, and in these next couple slides, you're going to think it's kind of ridiculous, but it is so easy to blog, and it is actually fun when you start to hit the publish button. So the first is have an editorial calendar of those well planned out topics. That's number one. So when you're ready to write, you can hit the ground running and you don't miss any opportunities. The topic that you're writing about needs to be very, very small. The title needs to have some SEO power to it. Have an opening paragraph with your keywords. Your length, 1,000 words is best. We usually shoot for 350 to around 600. You want to solve one problem for your clients in any blog, one very tight topic. Don't include any industry jargon that the average person would not understand. Make sure it is very well edited and proofed. Take time for those technical aspects of SEO. So if you have a WordPress website, I want you to download Yoast and follow through on all of the different pieces of Yoast, and be very careful with the CTAs. Call to action. What do you want them to do? We want you to give people the opportunity to know how to contact you. However, Google doesn't like all of that language, so make sure that it's varied. My big tips for blogging are, and I'm laughing because of what's coming up next. So I want you to keep this simple. Don't make blogging any more than it has to be. In fact, I have a worksheet that I'll include that's a simple outline of opening paragraph, 3 supporting paragraphs, and a close. I want you to shine your expertise, but don't be braggy about it. Publish at a very natural rate. So don't pay someone to write 100 blogs and dump them on your website and think that you're done. They should be published once a week. Write for your audience. Don't just write for a search engine. Please write in plain English. You are writing for the average, 8th to 9th grader maybe. I have a lot of clients who have done some absolutely brilliant writing. The problem is it's worthless for SEO. So do pieces that are related to one another and related to your core business areas. I want you to really know your audience. What do they need, and how can you explain it in very simple terms? I am highly dyslexic and have editors that look over my blogging, but Google does consider typos to be an issue. And show your personality. Don't be scared to include with your blog a video that actually shows you just talking. We'll talk about that in a minute. I know video drives people crazy. So here's what I've discovered is the easiest way to blog, and I'm actually shocked it's taken me this long to institute it into my own marketing efforts. First, I want you to download a voice recorder to your phone. So you can use an app that's called Voice Recorder. You can also use an app that's called Otter AI. Just be careful with Otter because it will chew your data plan. You can actually also use Dragon, which is, I think, now Nuance, but Dragon is a phenomenal one as well. Download the app, then dictate. Now, this takes some getting used to. There's a lot of ums, there's a lot of likes, and it gets very hard to dictate. Stay on topic, have an outline. Do this when you're walking around the block these days as you need to get out of the house a little bit, or when you just need to get up and stretch. It is a phenomenal way to get your voice recorded. Then you have to have that dictation transcribed. And here I recommend uploading it to Otter. So what'll happen is if you use Otter, it's automatically transcribed for you. If you use if you use Voice Recorder or Dragon, you may, those two, right now I use Voice Recorder and it does not have a a transcription attached to it. All I do is I email myself the audio file from Voice Recorder. I upload it to Otter AI, and within minutes, I have a complete transcription. Otter AI gives you 600 minutes of transcription for free a month. That's a lot of blogging, people, so don't worry about running out. Once you have the transcription, all you need to do is copy it into a Word document and edit it. And all of a sudden you have a blog. It is super simple. Like I said, it does take some getting used to, but it is well worth the time. And now you have the time, so it's good. Now, once you have your blog and it's optimized, which means your meta description is in there, you have a great picture, you want to share it on social media. Social media is a great way to drive traffic to your website. Don't share the same blog post everywhere on social media. Now, when you do your first one, I give you permission to tell everybody on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter how excited you are that you finally blogged. But then get into a routine of sharing those blogs. Maybe every Tuesday you share your blog on Facebook, maybe every Wednesday you share to LinkedIn, and every Friday you tweet it out. I don't want you getting in the habit of just blasting a piece of content out there across the internet. It looks silly and your ideal clients will get a little sick of you, especially nowadays when we're all on the internet all the time. Now, the next big piece of SEO, so we've gone over your editorial calendar, your keyword research, your blogs, a little bit on social media, is Google. The next big piece of your SEO picture is Google My Business. Google My Business is the way that you show up in Google Maps results on that first page. You need a Google account. Then all you do is log into Google My Business. Make sure that your Google My Business page is all the areas are filled in, again, naturally written with keywords. You want to make sure that your address is correct, and you will have to verify it. Sometimes they're doing this over the phone. Sometimes you have to wait for the postcard to come in the mail, but you absolutely need to make sure that your Google My Business page is verified. You have the opportunity in Google My Business to post to your page. This should be done with keywords. You can post your blog. You can also post the content of others, but post to it often. This is your Maps listing. So make sure if you want to show up in that Maps listing, make sure that you were filling this out correctly, that you've opened it, verified it, and are sharing to it. So another big piece of ranking in Google My Business is reviews. I have actually done a previous presentation for SCORE on reviews, and I have included it on my SCORE page for this presentation. So just go over, I think it's jennifergardella.com/SCORE March 2020, and you can get that presentation as well on reviews. I do talk about them in one of my last slides. So this isn't a presentation on social media per se, but I did want to include a few things because there were some comments in the SCORE registrations. Like I said before, there's some research out there that shows that, you know, when you share blogs and such to Facebook, there's some benefit to SEO. It's indirect, but it is important. It helps grow your brand. You could make the argument that when people see you posting regularly, they're more apt to visit your website. It does connect you with people so that they go to your website and learn about you. and it gives you a place to share your content where your ideal clients are hanging out. I just wanted to give you a little guidance as you start to share your content out there on social media, how you should be doing it. So LinkedIn is largely for professional contacts and services. You can share your blog on LinkedIn if it's related to business or if it's related to your business in some way. And you can also certainly share the content of others. People are dying for connections, especially out there in today's world. So they're on LinkedIn now looking for jobs, looking for advice. Fill in those gaps. Facebook business page, you have a lot of opportunities here. What you can share are your blogs. Again, drive traffic back to your website. I've also seen a lot of companies use Facebook to highlight their employees. A lot of bigger companies are doing this so that people are well connected. They like to see their picture or some sort of recognition on the business Facebook page, which is fun. Twitter, completely different animal, completely different audience. Twitter is the cocktail party of the internet, and I highly recommend you share as much content as you want to on Twitter. Just make sure that you're using hashtags, and if you don't know how to use a hashtag, I'm going to have a video in the next couple days, and you can just book a call with me and I'll explain them. Okay, YouTube. Now, I know that video drives people crazy. You don't like to watch yourself on video. You don't know what to do. Who's going to watch these? The first thing I want you to do is set up a YouTube channel. You need a place to put your videos, so you might as well set up a YouTube channel. Now, as my friend Lou Bartone will tell you, the easiest way to shoot a video is right off of your iPhone. We are talking maybe 2 minutes to get you started. Just talk about what you do. Again, you can account for this in your editorial calendar. You can do YouTube videos just on your blog posts. I even know podcasters these days that as they record their podcast, they're shooting it in video and uploading that to YouTube for the SEO value to their podcast as well. It's unbelievable. There is a lot of information out there on how to correctly upload your video to YouTube. Make sure that you put in the tags, make sure that you have playlists around your core business areas, which are your keywords, and make sure your description is well filled out when you upload that video. Videos are phenomenal to share on social media. I actually used to say whenever I talked on this subject that I don't like video. I've come to the other side. I have learned so much information. My friend Stacy Rasky will tell you that anytime you get stuck in tech these days on the internet, stop what you're doing, take 10 seconds to breathe, and then look up a YouTube video because someone has probably explained it. Now, the big trick with video is just to practice. Gary Vaynerchuk will tell you that you should just practice, 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 and upload them all to YouTube. Your first couple won't be great, but just get in the habit of doing it and get used to the process. Have a script. Don't read off of it. That gets really, really boring. I'm sure during this presentation you've noticed that my eyes are going back and forth between the very simple slides and looking at you in the camera, and that's really all that it takes. Now, here's my number one secret to making great videos. Let go of your need to ever watch yourself. My skin crawls whenever I even watch the first 5 seconds of one of my videos just because they autoplay. So you absolutely do not have to have or you do not have to have anything in your process that says that you have to watch your own video. I will stop here and confuse you a little bit. There is a place in YouTube where you can upload an image to accompany your video. It's called a thumbnail. I highly recommend that you make these thumbnails very simply in Canva. It will give a professional polish to your video. Again, I'll be doing a video on those in the coming weeks. Hopefully next week I can get to it quickly. And just Google, if you get stuck, Google thumbnail Canva. And Canva actually has it all set up for you. I'm going to stop there because we got to keep moving. Okay, reviews and testimonials. Google considers you a great business if a lot of people have reviewed it. You should absolutely, first and foremost, build up the number of reviews that you have for your business on your Google My Business page. The individual reviewing you must have a Google account that they sign into. They simply Google your business, go to your Maps listing, and leave a 5-star review. If you get to 50 to 100 reviews, then you can absolutely start to take them on Facebook and Yelp. Now, I'll stop here and say that Yelp is pretty critical for restaurants. And believe it or not, every once in a while, some of my accounting clients, they get clients off of Yelp. I don't know how that works. So The big thing is Google, then Facebook and Yelp. And again, it depends on your situation and your business. If you're having problems deciding, let me know and I'll help you work it out. Do not have people write Google reviews from your main business. There is an issue if you're using the same internet and if you're using the same computer, that IP address, Google will think that you're actually writing them and will discount all of them. Have a simple set of directions for individuals to follow, write them out. Don't let anyone else control your profile. So make sure at a minimum that you go into Google, Facebook, and Yelp and you claim your profile. And I do not believe that you should ever offer a discount for a good review. And that's all I'll say about that. I want you guys to measure your success. It's very exciting in today's environment to set goals and then meet them. Now, as you're getting set up, your goal may be to write 1 blog post next month, and that would be awesome to achieve if you've never done it before. Eventually, you're going to move into areas where you're managing your SEO for how you're ranking on the first page. You're going to need Google Analytics for that. You may have goals, like I have goals in my business for the number of people that visit my business, the number of leads that are generated off of my websites, how many people are subscribing to my newsletter. Also, I have a big goal in my business on getting inbound links. I can tell you that when you are a podcast guest on a well-known podcast, that is SEO gold. It's a phenomenal link and it really drives a lot of traffic to your website. And you can also measure success by how much you share on social media, how many people share your stuff on social media, and also you can measure your engagement. So, given that we are in an environment where you may be sitting around and you have a lot of extra time, here are some things that I could foreseeably see you moving on very, very easily. The first is write a blog. Opening paragraph, 3 supporting paragraphs, and a close. While you're writing your blog, you may want to start the research process. Don't make this too elaborate. Keep it really simple at first, just like you should keep your editorial calendar really simple as well. Once a day, you could reach out to someone, whether it's on LinkedIn or a former client, and ask them to review you on LinkedIn, on Google, on Facebook, wherever you're comfortable. You can also make a video. Get out your iCamera, get your iPhone. If your kids are home, this is a great project for them to help you with. They can help you shoot videos outside, in your house, at your desk, working on your business, answering people's questions. And absolutely during this time, if you have not yet, open your Google My Business page and optimize it. So here's how you connect with me. Again, you can visit my website, jennifergardella.com. You can email me, jennifer@thegardellagroup.com, and you can also find me on LinkedIn. I really look forward to connecting with you guys, seeing your success, hearing and reading what you're doing, watching those videos. Please let me know what you're up to. And once you're up and running, or even as you're getting up and running, I am making a ton of time available in my calendar to talk to small business owners who may in some way need a little bit of extra guidance. If you go to my website, jennifergardella.com, go up to the top, in the top navigation, all the way to the right, it will take you directly to my calendar on Book a Call, and I'm happy to talk to you. So again, get in touch with me. You can email me at the Gardella Group or just visit my website to find out more information. I'm 2 minutes over. This is awesome. I almost got in the 1 hour time frame that we're doing. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thanks so much.